Hello, clever people, and welcome to my review for The Goldfinch. So The Goldfinch is based off of a novel of the same name, an 800-page novel, and this movie stars Ansel Elgort and Finn Wolfhard and a plethora of other famous actors, and it follows the story of a young boy whose mother dies very tragically in a terrorist attack on a art gallery. And it follows his story as well as other stories that revolve around his life as he has to deal with the fact that his mother is gone and that he survived such a tragic event. So I was actually pretty looking forward to The Goldfinch because I really did enjoy the trailers. I thought that this looked like a total Oscar movie. The September release date did scare me a little bit because it was September, and honestly, September is not always the best month for Oscar movies, especially if a movie is trying to be an Oscar movie. That usually means the studio doesn't have much confidence in it. They'll put it in September to make it look like it's an Oscar movie, when in reality, it's not, and they're just trying to put it up early so that people will forget about it by the time February rolls around for the Oscars. Sometimes it means that, and in the case of The Goldfinch, that's 100% what it meant. I was bored out of my mind watching The Goldfinch, and I will say this. The good part about this movie is that the director and everybody involved had good intentions. They wanted to make a good movie, and you know what? I can applaud them for that because in some respects, they do. I mean, the cinematographer, Roger Deakins, he is incredible. And the way that he takes just an ordinary, boring house and makes it look like one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen, that's impressive. And the director is really trying to tell a beautiful story here. The problem is, he just doesn't really know how to tell it, I think. And honestly, in the end of the day, I blame the editor for the reason this movie is so boring. Because every single scene doesn't flow together. I mean, the thing that you should try to do with editing, the most important and integral part, in my opinion, is you are responsible for the flow of the movie. You're responsible for how we get to one scene to the next scene. Does it feel like a jarring cut, or does it feel like the scenes flow together? Does it feel like each scene builds on each other, and are they cut at the exact right place? Because oftentimes it comes down to milliseconds, much like stand-up comedy. It comes down to millisecond preciseness on if you cut it here, does it reflect the overall tone and the mood of the movie? And that was a huge problem for The Goldfinch, because the way that this movie is edited, sometimes it seems like the cuts are made so that it feels like a comedy. Sometimes it feels like the cuts are made so that it feels like a drama. Sometimes the cuts feel like a mystery. And honestly, it's not just the cuts, it's the way the scenes are put together. They feel like blocks of scenes. They don't flow together well at all. They are so chunky and they don't fit, to the point where when you're watching the next scene, you forgot what the scene was before you, and it feels like a distant memory because it didn't flow with the rest of the movie in the way that it should have. And another huge disappointing part of this movie was the performances. These actors are so good, and Ansel Elgort, he's honestly just getting better and better as his career goes by. He was already pretty good in The Fault in Our Stars. I mean, for being a teenager stuck in a movie like that, he did a really good job. And in Baby Driver, he was yet again great. The problem is, he is a developing actor. He is not there yet. He is not that Oscar caliber actor yet. You need to give him good directors so that he can grow into that Oscar caliber director, so that when he's 40, he can be winning Oscars left and right. Unfortunately, with a director like this who doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing, Ansel Elgort falls completely flat, and so does every other performance in this movie. I'm blanking on the lead actress's name right now, and I hate that I am, because she is a great actress, but she plays the mother in the movie. Her talent was wasted here. Finn Wolfhard, his talent was wasted here. Every single person's talent was wasted here because they had a director that didn't know how to tell them how to do certain scenes. For example, if you've seen the movie, there's a certain scene where the father is asking something of his son and he ends up hitting him. That scene was so confusing. There were so many different things going on, and it seemed like the actors didn't know how to take the scene, if it was going to be serious, if it was going to seem like it was threatening. They had absolutely no way they had no knowledge into how they were supposed to do it, and that was a huge disappointment. Overall, this movie just fell abysmally flat. There were so many things in this movie that could have worked. Give it a different director and a different editor, and maybe you refine the script a bit, you've got a great movie. But it's just that the movie falls so flat. And also, another big thing, a huge thing with the movie that I almost forgot to mention, the dialogue. it is written so awkwardly. Like, honestly, I can't believe how awkwardly this dialogue is written. All of that just makes it so that the movie falls super, super flat. I wanted to like this movie, but after its 2.5-hour runtime, I wanted nothing more than to get out of the theater as soon as I possibly could. I will give The Goldfinch a 3 out of 10. Taking all of that, I want to say one thing. My mom, who read the book, loved the book, adored this movie. She thought it was fantastic because I hear that this movie fits the book really, really well. I just personally think that the film was unadaptable. The book was unadaptable into a film, and that's just based off of my inference on the book. I actually haven't read it. So if you read the book and you absolutely loved it, give this movie a shot. If you haven't, don't go see it because you'll be bored out of your mind and you won't understand a single thing. Anyways, that concludes my review for The Goldfinch. So, what are your thoughts on this film, or have you read the book? Comment in the comment section below and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.